Well, tonight we're looking deeper into the defense laid out by Tavon Scott's attorneys in the murder trial of Timothy Reynolds. Scott's attorneys say whoever shot Reynolds did so in the defense of others. We have attorney Patrick Seidel here with us now. Patrick, first off, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So a lot of people are very familiar with self-defense. That's something that we hear about a lot. But in the defense of others is not something that maybe everyone is in tune with. So tell us about the differences between self-defense and in the defense of others.
Defense of others gets a little bit more complicated. The biggest difference in my mind is that when you are asking about self-defense, in Maryland you have a duty to retreat. But that doesn't really come up with defense of others. Defense of others is really focused on four main factors. The first factor is whether or not the defendant, when they are defending somebody else, actually believes that that person is in danger of death or serious bodily injury. Number two, the jury has to decide whether or not that belief is reasonable. Right. Number three, the defendant can use no more force than is reasonably necessary to defend that third party. And then number four, the purpose in using the force has to be to defend the person. It can't be some other, revenge or I'm getting back at somebody. So those are the four factors. Now, the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that those factors don't apply. If they can't prove that, then the defendant's going to be acquitted of that charge. But in a homicide case, if they do prove that, it goes to a second layer of analysis. And that second layer is whether or not there was reasonableness involved. So let's say the state proves one of the factors doesn't apply. Then they're going to ask, well, when the defendant acted the way he did, maybe he had an actual belief, but it wasn't reasonable to have that belief, or maybe he used the force, but the use of force was so excessive. Right. And what's going to happen in that situation, it's going to mitigate the charge down from murder to manslaughter. And the consequence can be significant because in Maryland, murder carries a life sentence, but manslaughter is only 10 years.
And just to give people a little bit of background on you, you were a prosecutor for quite some time, and then now you're a defense attorney. So with that being said, and your many years of experience, how often has this come up in Maryland?
This doesn't come up very often. It obviously has to be generated by the facts, so it's very case-specific, fact-specific. Obviously, the facts in this particular case warrant that instruction. I think the judge is appropriately giving that instruction, but it's going to be up to the jury now to decide whether those factors apply.
And you may have already said this, but just to make it very clear, I mean, is this a difficult one to prove? Is this going to be a difficult case for them?
It is always hard to get 12 people to agree on anything. Sure. And remember that the burden is on the state to prove this. The defense doesn't have to prove anything. So the question is going to be, can the state not only meet the elements of the crime, but also address these other factors that come up with the defense? That's going to be a big challenge.
And so now the jury is deliberating. Who knows how, you could make a prediction, I guess. How long do you think they're going to, considering all the facts that we know so far in this case, how long do you think until we have some verdict here?
This is a complicated case. There's so many factors going into it. The jury's got to look at all the evidence in the case, but there's the outside pressures of the specifics of this case. Right. I think they're going to be at it for days.
Wow. All right. Well, attorney Patrick Seidel, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate it. And of course, 11 News reporter Kate Amara will have a live update from court, all coming up on 11 News at 5 o'clock. Ashley?